right, guys, in this edition of the Rockstar Show, we have the sensational, the ravishing, the beautiful 3-time Arnold Classic champion, Miss India Paulino.
You're so sweet. Thank
No, you are so sweet for even making the time to be here.
It's a pleasure. I'm so happy to be here, and you're just so cute.
Oh my God. Okay, you're making me blush. I wanted to bring you on because, again, you are just, wow. You've done so many things. I love what you stand for. Thank you for your service, by the way. I know you were a police officer, which we'll get into that. Where are you from?
Where I was born.
Yeah, where were you born?
So I was born in Dominican Republic.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. You don't play around. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's something that, I get asked a lot. It's like, what are you? Like, Are you this? Are you that? Are you mixed? I'm a huge mix. But yes, I was born in Dominican Republic, and then I moved to my family moved to the United States when I was three and a half. Mm-hmm. So yeah. How
did you get involved? I mean, you're a police officer. What was little India like? Was she a troublemaker? Or were you just, the little sweet girl playing for dolls? What were you like?
I did not play with dolls, which we talk about to this day because I was just such a tomboy. I really was. I was an interesting kid. I feel like I still am. Like I'm very misunderstood. I liked to draw. I would write. I liked being outside. I played with cars. I liked wrestling.
Oh, wow.
I liked, just all boy stuff. I remember for one of my birthdays, I was like, well, I don't know. I have two younger sisters, and they loved dolls. So I'm like, well, maybe I should be playing with dolls. And so I asked for like a Barbie or something, and I got it. And I literally looked at the Barbie and I was like, no, like, what do I do with you? No. So, I had a mermaid that I loved though.
Oh, okay.
I did have like a little mermaid that I loved. But yeah, I mean, that was me. I read a lot.
Favorite book?
When I was a little kid?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I read all the Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Okay.
And I can't even remember. There were so many like little,
that was
series,
a great series
like
of
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
I remember we had book club, and I think
Yes.
you get like the pizza, and then you get the Goosebump thing. That was great.
The erasers,
Yes,
the stickers. Oh my gosh, I loved that.
Okay. How did you get into the police stuff?
So I actually wanted to enlist in the military twice. I was going to enlist in the Marines twice. So I was in high school, and I remember bringing it up, and my mom like freaked out, and she's like, "Oh my!" Like she just, I don't know, she was scared, I guess, and so I was very close to my parents, and so I didn't, but I wanted to, and so I decided I did want to go federal because that was the goal. And I needed military experience or law enforcement experience. So I decided, okay, well, I'll enlist in the military. And, when I get out, then I, go forward with the federal. But I went the law enforcement route. But even still, like I was in law enforcement and I still had that urge. I wanted to serve our country, And so same thing. And then, but... I had to do me. I had to do, I can't live my life for my mom or anybody else. So I did 8 years in law enforcement. It was supposed to be 3. And then, I decided I no longer wanted to go federal. Mm-hmm. So I stayed for 8 years.
So what was it that made you want to become a Marine? What did you see, a movie or somebody you saw? What was it that set your heart on fire for that?
I had a lot of really close friends that were Marines, and I have a love for our country. I'm very grateful. My parents worked really hard. They came here. We're all U.S. citizens, and they have done amazing. I mean, my mom didn't even really speak English, and she was a psychologist in the Dominican Republic, and she came here and she said, I want my degree here in the United States. And she worked her butt off raising 3 little girls and going to college, and she became a psychologist here as well. A's and B's, not even being her first language. Wow. I mean, it was hard. My dad worked. My dad had different businesses. So he was away a lot, but he worked his ass off for us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I look at that and I appreciate that, and I am grateful. I'm just grateful for everything. I understand that not everybody, the things that we sometimes complain about, right. Like it's nonsense. Like there are people that would die to like have just half of what we have, or like a meal, you know? So for me, I just appreciated my parents. I appreciated where they brought me to this country. And I, like I said, I just, the love for our country. And so I wanted to serve.
How does it make you feel when people hate about our country?
You know, I feel,
oh boy.
So no, it's sad. It's sad. I think it's a lack of, I think it's ignorance. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people only know what they know. They've never left their hometown. They've never traveled. They've never seen people going through bad things, struggling. That not everybody lives the life that we have. We have so much opportunity here. I mean, we're not perfect, but we're the best country in the world, you know? And I think when I see that, it's just sad to me. Cause I'm like, do you realize that what you do here, if you were to do or say some of the stuff that you say here, you would be killed or you would go to prison? Like, it's about gratitude for what we do have. And I think that just even in general, a lot of times it's easy to focus on what we don't have. And that just it doesn't lead to just peace and happiness, you know, just quite the opposite.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just sad.
Tell me about the police academy. I heard you had doubters of you in the police academy.
We had what, I'm sorry?
Doubters in the police academy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, doubters my whole career. Yes. So the first day I walk in my cute little suit and already you're judged because I don't know. I've been judged my whole life. I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but it's actually motivating to me because I know I'm going to prove them wrong. So yeah, I remember, you had to pick like your commanders, like your squad leaders, like all that stuff. And I was a squad leader. I know they thought I couldn't handle being like in control or anything like that because they thought I was going to be this like prissy, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that or whatever. I worked my ass off and I came out number 1 in the whole academy class.
That's amazing.
So I was like, shut your mouth.
Girl power.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. It's the judging. It's you don't know. But I know where it comes from people, and I understand that. But I've used that to my advantage, because it does. It gives me like this thing, and it's like I have like this evil laugh in my head, like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna prove you wrong, And I did just that. And even when I went into law enforcement, it was the same thing. When I got to my department, it was like, well, first of all, I was tiny. I mean, I weigh more now than I did back then, and thanks to bodybuilding, Right. But I did a lot of martial arts. I had to have a letter from my martial arts instructor written to the chief of police because he had daughters, and he was just worried. He was literally just worried because I was so small. And but yeah, it was awesome.
Big things come in small packages, right? Seriously. So 8 years you spent serving, the force and serving our country. Thank you again for that. What made you want to get into competing? Just the competition, the competitive stuff, or what was it that made you decide, I'm going to go this route now?
So I remember I was working midnight shift. That was my favorite. And I was looking at the fitness magazines. And there was a photo it was the Arnold Classic. And I saw the bikini girls on stage. And I was just like, it froze me. It literally froze me. I don't know why. I mean, I was fit, I worked out, but it was more for survival, for my job, not to look a certain way. I never even looked at myself and thought anything like I need to look this way. And that wasn't a thing. But I was just like in awe, and it was the suits and the stage and the lights and just like the glam, like everything. And I'm like, what is this? I want to do this. I have to do this. And that was it. And then I interesting enough, that girl lived in my area and knew one of my friends, small world. So I got in contact with her. She told me who her coach was. Her coach wasn't very far away, like a few hours away. I drove up after. So the Fort Lauderdale Cup was coming up. And so the coach said, hey, I'm going to be in town for the show. I have to do whatever, handle stuff before the show, like the hotel and all that. Stop by, bring your suit. And I'm like, what? This was all new to me. I hadn't even gone to a fitness show ever. Like I knew nothing about the sport. But that story of my life, I just dive into things. But she saw me and she's like, yeah, you can compete. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, wait, in a week? So she's like, yes, it was like a week and a half. So she's like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, that soon?
But you're already training.
I was training, but not specifically for bikini. I was just like, I was in really good shape, just to stay, like I said, in shape. I loved the gym. I was in the gym. I just didn't have a specific, I thought I was just skinny, you know? So I went up to their headquarters and they gave me a training plan, and yeah, girl, like next week I was at the Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
And I did. I had to learn posing. Oh my gosh, if I look up that posing and then compared to now, I was like, oh, you could tell I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was just more like, I think as I grew up dancing, I kind of just brought that performance type of thing to the stage, and it helped me. But yeah, I didn't know really posing.
Speaking of the dancing, so you've done lots of different styles of dancing.
Yeah.
Can we let people know about what styles of dancing you've done? Because I did, of course, I researched you and whatnot. And I just love that you tap into every little thing that you can. And that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I'm 10 people in one.
I would say 100 people in one.
I really enjoy trying new things, and just, I love a lot of different things. Things that bring me joy,
What's your top 5 things that you love that bring you joy?
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
Competing in fitness.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Competing in my tactical competitions. I am obsessed. I love it. I like hard things, like challenges.
The challenges.
I love just joy overall.
Yeah.
I love just being. Like, if I could be, we're in Phoenix. I love Arizona. Like, I went to Sedona last year, obsessed. Like, I need to go back. Where I am in a place where the energy is amazing, and in nature.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Like, I have chills.
Yes.
Like, that is everything to me. It just brings me this joy and this peace. So
speaking of the wolf tattoo, what's this significance?
This wolf I see in my dreams. Like, I am so connected to wolves. Like, I can listen to a wolf howl and it just,
I went to a wolf ranch and did a photo shoot with them, and it was the most amazing experience ever.
Where was that one at?
This was in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh my! There's one in northern Florida that I have to go.
You have to go.
I just feel like I'm not going to want to leave. I'm not.
Do you have any dogs?
I have 2. So I just got a new puppy. His name is Hawk. He's half Malinois, half German Shepherd. He's a psychopath, but I love him. He's so cute. He's like a wolf. His face.
I was going to say, if you have a wolf dog, like a hybrid.
So I said that in the future, I wanted one. I'm getting a little bit of experience with this puppy because he's wild. Aww. But yeah, they're amazing.
So when you did the cup, how did you do?
So I placed, I won novice and I placed second in open.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And then from there you knew, okay, I'm going to keep on?
Addicted. From there, I actually got flown out to Germany for FIBO, which was nuts. I know.
Tell me about this. How did this happen?
I don't know. It was a supplement company that hired me to represent them for a week out there. Again, so I got, I jumped in and it was it took off,
Wow.
So here I am, literally just did a show in October. And then FIBO was when? January? I can't remember. But it was, and that was an experience.
What was that like for you going to FIBO? Because that's one of the biggest expos in the world.
It was. I don't know if I want to say overwhelming because, I loved it. I loved it. I felt at home. It was interesting.
You knew that this is what you wanted to do.
Definitely.
And then
I got chills when you said that.
When did you decide you wanted to get the pro card? Like, you knew you could get a pro card and go big time. When did you decide that?
I think it was after. So it was Fort Lauderdale Cup, and then I believe I did Pittsburgh. I feel like I did one more.
Now, you won, actually, the NPC Pittsburgh, right?
No.
Okay,
no,
oops.
that one, I'm trying to remember which the set. God, I've done so many shows that like I mix them all up. No, I know. I did, okay, so Fort Lauderdale Cup, then I did the Arnold Classic, the amateur.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I placed second, I believe it was. And then I did Pittsburgh, the NPC, and then I did junior national. So it was pretty soon that I knew, because once I knew I want to do this, I'm the type of person, I want to do the best that I can and reach the top. That's my goal. Because it's goals, it's you constantly have a goal. So I knew pretty soon that I wanted the pro card. And
so you were the original OG of bikini, pretty much. I mean, you have 15 wins. I mean, you've won even multiple times at shows, like the New York Pro, Pittsburgh Pro, and a few others, which, I'll let you say it if you want to. But that's amazing. So before even Ashley Kaltwasser winning all these shows, you were the person just dominating. Boom, boom, boom. And then you won 3 Arnold Classic titles. Wow. So you are definitely competitive. So my next question to you is, why do you love the competition so much? What does it do for you?
I think what I love, there's 2 parts. So the journey itself. We all have life that happens, right? We all have careers, or, a lot of us have children, or we have, and throughout my competitive career, I've had major life changes. I've gone through divorce. I've gone through, having a child. I've got like so many different things, moving and deaths, and just a lot of different things. Each prep allows me the opportunity to grow. Now, regardless, even if I wasn't competing, that's a priority. Personal development is a priority for me. And it's a priority for me because of where I was many years ago, a very, very dark place. So I am grateful that I was able to get out of that. And I am appreciative of what I have, and what I've accomplished. I used to be the type of person where I would have a goal, I'd accomplish it, I wouldn't even take it in. It was like, all right, next. And that's very easy for a lot of competitors to be in that place. So I had to slow down. And when you slow down and you want to learn, and you want to learn about yourself and how to better handle situations, it's more enjoyable when you don't put that pressure on yourself. I would say push yourself, but don't put pressure on yourself. So thinking back at other preps where I was struggling with certain issues, and thinking now, like, most people wouldn't even know I'm prepping. Because for me, it's just part of my life, I love that because, like, for example, now I'm prepping. And the last few weeks have been a hell of a last few weeks, Nobody would know, nobody cares, but it has taught me even more so. I know I'm strong. I've taught myself that I'm strong. I've but it's like, there's always different levels. And so being able to accomplish what I want in the next few weeks at my show, looking at myself and saying, wow, like, I overcame all of that, because what we do isn't easy. No. It's not easy. It's not just going to the gym. You see the gym videos and you're like, oh, they're just working out. Oh, I wish I could do that. Right. And yeah, you can. But what we do is it's not normal. It's not your average working out. It's not your average dieting. We don't look when we're on stage like, that's not normal, So it's more extreme. And so it takes more extreme discipline and all of that to get there. So I appreciate the journey. And I also just love, what's the word? Well, I guess I thrive off of the, I don't want to say nervous feel. They're good nerves. you know? So it's like, I'm the type of person, if it scares me, I'm going to freaking do it. I don't allow my mind to try to convince me, no, you can't. Hell no. Like if it even tries to go there, I'm just going to go.
Right.
So I love that feeling. It gives me life. Like just when you're about to go on stage, like I live for that. So.
I can see that. That's why you're one badass. So you competed, then you left for a little bit to have a son, who is so adorable.
Thank you.
What is his name?
His name is Breton.
Brian. Oh. What was the feeling like when you held your son for the first time in your arms?
Oh my gosh. I like my whole world stopped. It literally was like I focused on him like nothing else existed. Cuz you know, you have this human and he's so connected to you. That's the most connected we'll ever be is when they're with us, you know? And you wonder, like, what's he going to look like? What's he going to be like? You know, all these things. And I was so connected to child. I knew what he was going to look like. Like, I knew he wasn't going to born on his breast. Nobody believes me. They're like, he's going to look like you because you're darker and you have dark hair and, you know, your genes. I'm like, he's not. I'm like, he's going to be blonde. He's going to be very fair. Like, they're like, no way. I'm like, you watch. And he's not going to be born December 23rd. He's coming early. I knew, like, his personality. I saw him before I knew I was pregnant. I had this moment. It was, people would think I'm nuts. I was driving and it was like a different dimension. It was like, and there's a little boy in my front seat and then a little girl in the back. And I was like talking to them. So I thought when I found out I was pregnant, oh, it's a girl. I focused on the girl for some reason. I was like, oh, it's a girl. And then within a week I said, no, it's a boy. And then I realized it was him that I saw. It was like he came to me. Like it's amazing.
I saw the at the Olympia you were doing, you know, when you had your baby in your belly, you're doing the interviews. You were so adorable. Aww.
It was all belly. That was fun.
Well, what was cool is you had your son, and then you ended up competing. What was that? Seven months?
That honestly blew me away because that was my first son, so I didn't know. I mean, I honored my body every step of the way.
Sure.
I loved my body every step of the way because I kept reminding myself too of like what it was doing. It's it's a miracle. It's amazing what our bodies do. But I didn't know when like my body would actually my abs. Like I actually had better abs after having him. It was crazy.
Wow.
But I didn't. I was like, well, I mean, I didn't put pressure on myself, and I think I lost a lot of the weight because of that. Because if not, our bodies will hold on to it. I didn't have like a set date because again, this was the first time. I didn't know, and I wanted to allow my body to heal and not, put like too much pressure on it.
Did you train while you were having?
Oh yeah. I trained throughout my pregnancy.
How far up to did you train?
Like the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because some women they get afraid to train. But
yeah. Well, there's a misconception that you will hurt the baby if you train. And it's actually very healthy for them. What we don't realize is that our babies are also prepping for birth. That's very hard for them. Like birth can be traumatic, it's very hard for when we're feeling our surges, our contractions, like they're feeling it too. So, what I tell women, and I've trained a lot of women that, pre and post pregnancy is if you've been training this way, continue. Like just, listen to your body if you start getting dizzy. And again, get clearance from your doctor first, because if you're high risk or there's certain things involved, every pregnancy is different. You got to kind of treat it as each pregnancy individually. But it is healthy to train and do cardio. Again, I'm not telling people to go and power lift, although you have women who that's how they train. Hey, if that's okay, that's okay. But I wouldn't recommend anybody to try something new if they have not been training to go and try to lift like heavy. Like I brought down my weight. There's also, knowing when you can't lay on your belly and just laying on your back, like just different types of very important things that, women need to know. But no, overall, I think it's beneficial. It helps you. You're stronger for that process.
So the last time you competed was, I'm talking about this year, 2018? Was it a 4-year break?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you make the second comeback. So this is because what is on the top of your list?
So the only show that I haven't won show that I haven't won is the Olympia. And I really like, I think about it. I visualize this moment so much.
Do you believe in manifestation?
I do.
I do too.
I really do. Yeah. I have visualized this moment. I have cried with the visualization. I get chills all over my body. I am on that stage and they call my name and I am just like still like shocked and like, you know, for years I've had this vision. Right. For years. And you know, I know it's not in my control. I can only do what I can do. I love this sport. I never left this sport. I'll never leave this sport. You know, it's a part of my life.
Sure.
And so I had an urge to come back, and it's like I feel like I can't be finished. Like it's like unfinished business. I'm like I know like it's such an the title. You know, it's just such an honor. And my goodness, I would just, I can't, I don't even know. I'd be like, I'd have no words.
Well, I was going to say, so when Bob calls your name, what's going to be going through your head? You're going to start, you know, what's the first thing that goes through your head?
Oh, gosh. Like when you won a show?
Yeah, yeah. Like right there, he just calls your name. You're the winner. Like you just...
It's like excitement, relief, like just like, whoa. Because I'm a person, the way I think is like train to win, but detach from, you know, the outcome and the expectations. Because at the end of the day, we don't have control over that, right? We can look our absolute best, but it doesn't mean that we may win that show. It just, there are other people competing as well, you know? So I go into shows very confident, but I detach from that part. Mm-hmm. And I've learned to do that because of how it used to affect me, you know? But gosh, it's a rush when you
What are you going to do when you become Miss Olympia? Like, what's going to be your goal? Are you going to be done? Now you're done? You've got it? You checked it off your list?
No.
Or are you going to keep... I didn't think so.
No. And hearing you say that is like, oh my gosh. Like,
well, I mean, I'm going to ask you this. So bikini, how do you like bikini now and how it's going? Do you feel when you become Miss Olympia, you're going to change the way of things and, you know, obviously you're going to be that role model for other people. So what is your goals with that? Like, what is your plan? What do you want to do for other young bikini up-and-coming competitors and anybody else in the sport?
I want to inspire and motivate all women to be able to do this, to be able to do whatever it is that they want, I want them to know that they can, that yes, sometimes things are hard, but we are capable of doing hard things, and we are capable of overcoming obstacles, and we are capable of achieving our goals despite what's going on, you know, whether it's slowly or very fast, it depends, but progress is progress. And I think that, you know, a lot of times it's taking that first step. It's scary. It's intimidating for a lot of women. They, you know, see the top girls in bikini and they're like, oh my gosh, I'll never look like that.
Right.
But we didn't always look like that. You know what I mean? I was a string bean. Like, I can't believe I'm not like Miss Curvy, but I'm happy with what I've been able to create with
won a lot of shows. That kind of says something,
right?
though.
Well, right. So, like, to me, like, I'm just grateful, and I'm still amazed at what we can accomplish, what our bodies will do with time and patience. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time now. You know, it's been years.
Well, you look like you're 22 years old. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so for me, I want women to really love themselves. Yes. And just, you know, stop the comparing and find the happiness within themselves and the beauty within themselves, because there's beauty and uniqueness, and like, we're all unique. You know, we all have something different to bring to the table, to the stage. I mean, if you look at the top 5-6 bodies at Arnold, everybody's different. Everybody's different, and that's a beautiful thing. So to really just embrace who they are and really work towards healing, because that's when we're our happiest, you know? Like, let's get rid of all the stuff that causes stress and anxiety and issues, you know?
What would that be, you think, is some top things that cause stress for these competitors?
Well, I think it goes just in general. I would say it's, I think something that would help, I'll start there, is to stop avoiding themselves. And what I mean by that is, you know, finding distractions everywhere. Because when we're alone, I love my alone time, but when we're alone and let's say there's no noise, there's nothing, it's quiet, you have no choice but to face the stuff that you're constantly trying to distract yourself from. You have to face the things that you're running from, the ugly parts of ourselves, the parts that, you know, where there's shame and all those things. We're human. And a lot of times we pick that stuff up. It's not our fault, you know, experiences, traumas. So it's very important for us to want to know. And that's what I mean by learning about ourselves, because that's the only way that we're really going to find that peace and happiness. And little by little, start healing that stuff, or understanding it. Why does this trigger me? Why do I respond to this that much? Why do I feel that I need to eat this? And if I don't, then I feel a certain type of way, you know? And because it's gonna go into competition. And I feel like when you are on, you know, there's this pressure, right? I can't eat this, or I have to go train this. That's when a lot of this stuff starts coming out too, right? So it's really like, get to know your ego. Get to know your ego. You know, it's what's helped you survive, but it doesn't mean that you can't shut it out, you know, and replace maybe self-limiting beliefs with, you know, real beliefs, like positive beliefs.
Absolutely.
And also just, you know, habits, like the bad habits. You can break those.
We need more positivity. I think people, especially now, they're too sensitive. They worry so much about society, social media. I know we need it, but I think it also hurts when they see certain things out there and they think, I got to be like that.
Right.
I got to do this.
It's the comparing.
Yes.
The social media is great, but that's the negative part of it. And I think a lot of people, it's important to remember that not everybody's putting their bad stuff out there. Not everybody's life looks that way, you know? And again, putting the focus back on ourselves. You can still accomplish everything and put the focus on you rather than worrying about what everybody else is doing, how they place. Like, I don't care. I go into a show. I don't care who's competing. I don't care who shows up. I want the best competitors to show up.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't. This is why I picked the shows that I did this year.
Right.
You know, because I wanted to go up against the girls who have been winning the last 4 years at the top shows. I don't want to do a show that's going to be easy.
I gotta say, and I'm probably getting in trouble for this, but I think you should have won a few of those shows.
Aw, well, thank you.
I'm not a judge.
And you know, that's something that I've had to learn is from years ago is that the like I was saying earlier, just that detachment. But I'll say this: I was so proud of what I was able to bring, and I don't think I've ever said that before. Yes, I've been proud of my accomplishments, but I don't remember actually looking at photos and videos and saying, wow, like I did that. Like, wow, I look like that on stage, and loved my stage pictures. Like, this is the first time that I've like really, really loved them and been so proud of the physique. And I think it's because the physique's changed so much since, the posing, everything changed since I last competed. So I didn't know, like, I had no idea. I was just going for it. But these girls I was not training in those 4 years. I was training, but not for bikini. Sure. So it was different. So I didn't really know what my physique was going to be. Would I be able to match the winning physiques? And so being able to do that was just just a good feeling.
You're vegan. How long you been vegan for?
4 years.
Is
going to
that
be 4 years.
Easy? Is it difficult for?
No, it's easy for me because of my why, right? So I think that's the difference with a lot of people, because I'll hear a lot of people, I tried it and this and that. For me, it's the animals. Like, I'm a huge animal lover, and I would force myself, this is like crazy, but I would force myself to watch all the horrific, what are they called? The factory farming, how they like kill and oh my god, like kicking them and
cry.
Oh my god, I couldn't handle it. And I would force myself to watch this. And I watched so many of those videos, and finally I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of it. And it was kind of like in my mind for a long time. My little sister has been vegan for like 10 years now. And, I thought I had to eat meat to compete. Like, it was just like, and I was competing at a high level. I was like, I don't want to risk it. So I numbed myself for a long time. And then it was after pregnancy, there was just certain like food aversions. I was like, oh, I can't even look at that, or, and then, I just decided I no longer wanted to be a part of that. And I just from one day to the next.
Does it bother you when you see people eating the steak? And,
oh, no. And I have friends that are hunters. Like, I hate hunting. I hate it. I will shoot all day, but I hate hunting.
Right.
And I have a lot of friends that do. This is my choice. You know what I mean? To be vegan is my choice. I wasn't for 30 years. Like, it doesn't, I still cook meat for my family, for the ones who do eat meat. It doesn't bother me. I wish the world was vegan.
Right.
It was my world. I wish they were, but no, it doesn't. I don't judge. It doesn't. Again, I wasn't there for a very long time. I think once you make that connection, it's really hard not to. But again, we're all on different paths.
Sure.
So I respect
everybody. That. That's great. Because I think you feel better mentally, physically, your soul, everything's just good, right? Mm-hmm. And just more focused too, I would think, being a vegan.
Oh yeah. The first thing I noticed was I felt lighter, just overall, yeah. And then I have more energy. I remember mornings, I'm like, gosh, why? I just slept. I slept good. Why is it so hard for me to get out of bed? And that's one thing, that change. Also, I didn't feel bloated, but I guess I was, because now I know what it feels not to be. Just so many different things that, and I didn't do it. A lot of people do it for health. I did it mostly for the animals, but then all this other stuff, good stuff,
mm-hmm. So let's talk about this tactical training that you're getting, that you've been doing. So it's a combination of I see you're holding plates, you're walking, and you're doing shooting. Tell me all about it.
So tactical competitions is something that I started last year. Yeah. And I love it because, again, it's so challenging. Now, it's very different. The training is so different than bikini training, which has been challenging because one is all about strength and endurance. And then you have bikini where it's all about, you need to look this specific way, right? So it's hard because there's different kinds. So some require you to do more. It's like CrossFit / strongman moves. And with that, you already know. That's a no-no for, So.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
So they're different, but basically they will put you through, it's mentally, physically, it's just all sorts of stressing you and mm-hmm. tiring you out. And then you have to shoot accurately, rifle and pistol. So the last one I did was called Proving Grounds. And that was, when was that? A month ago, I think?
Wow.
Yeah, it was about a month ago. Oh my gosh, obsessed.
Is that the current pictures you just posted?
Yeah. So that was fun. They put us in this car and they simulated it like a rollover. So
oh wow.
So we 3 times they flipped us. I was like, if they flip us again, I'm gonna be so dizzy. But we had our seatbelt on and we had our rifle, so we're holding onto our rifle. And then when it stopped, we had to get out. We had to get out of the seatbelt. And that was interesting because you can't get stuck, so you kind of have to push up and you fall out and then you
are you dizzy?
Come out. No. They did it 3 times. I think if they kept doing it, maybe. I had to I think dance came in. I'm like, stop, don't focus. But then we got out. We had to run forever. Remember stuff along the way. It was so hot. And I have asthma, so it was horrible. Yeah. But ran and you're in full kit, so I'm wearing, 12 pounds my vest, and then also my rifle is 20 pounds, and then your gun belt. And so we're running, had to remember stuff along the way and then get to the shooting spot, shoot, whatever it is that you have to do there, then run back, and then tell her what you saw on the way. So you have to remember things while your body's physically, stressed and just tired. Mm-hmm. So that was one of them. And then, there were ones we had to jump stuff. We had to, oh my gosh, I ran through the woods in one of them for 3 miles. And we had to remember where we're going, 10 shooting stations, jumping through walls and high things. And it's just fun. It's challenging. You never know what you're going to get. the one where you saw with the plates. So we had to pinch 45-pound plates. Like I hadn't tried that before. So I'm wearing all this stuff and I'm like, all right, let's just go. Like, and we had to do like 4 rounds. So because they were trying to purposely tire your grip because it's a lot harder to shoot if your grip is off. So, but I did it and it's addicting too. I just love competition, clearly.
Do you have any next things you want to try that you've never done?
So I've never skydived and I want to go next month.
Definitely got to skydive.
I know. I can't believe I
Where
haven't.
at?
I did the in Florida. I'll go in Florida.
Go somewhere cool. Key West.
I want to go to Key West. I love Key West.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what else I want to do? Swimming with the sharks, like cage, like the great whites.
So are you going to go to Australia and do that? Or are you going to go to San Francisco and do that?
No, do they do it in San Francisco?
They do.
Oh, really? There's this. I can't remember the name, but it's like a whole thing. I think you go for like a week. I can't remember where it was. It was international though. I mean, I
love that you're a daredevil. I love this.
Yeah, I love it.
You live life.
I do. I've calmed down since I've had my son. I've calmed down.
What's the wildest thing you've ever done? Or adrenaline rush?
I don't know. I don't even know. Oh my gosh.
All right.
I don't know. I can't even think.
Give me your best bust from when you're a police officer. You kicked this guy's ass or something.
Oh gosh, I have so many stories of that.
And when they saw you, because you're 5'2", right?
Yeah.
Were they like?
I've had issues with. It was all different kinds of people. I mean, you had the men who. Let's say it was a domestic and they had just beat up their wife and then a little chick shows up and then I'm like, you're not going to arrest me. And I'm like, I've had guys pull guns out on me. I've had guys think they're literally going to, I've had to fight multiple guys at one time. Like it's something that it was different every day. And thinking back, it's like, whoa.
How did you decompress from that?
Like when I would go home.
Oh yeah, is this be tough?
You bring a lot of it with you. I think sometimes there's still times. Gosh, I've been gone for years, and there's still scenes and calls that I remember. And I think about. And I think also because I have friends that are still in law enforcement, and have friends who unfortunately have committed suicide, and that's a big thing. In military and police is because there is no outlet. There's no. We need our men and women to know that it's important to talk, and they need to have a safe place and safe people to talk to. And I think that's something that should be mandatory. Just like we have mandatory trainings, we should have where it's mandatory for them to see someone, because it's not weak. Vulnerability is seen as weak, and it's like the stuff that police and military see all the time. It's not. It's hard. Law enforcement is not easy. And then, yes, what do? You take it home, and then you got to live a normal life, and you have these things in your head, there's been so many, there's specific things that are harder than others. But yeah, I mean, for me, I was dancing. I was teaching dance. So that was something that I did. Meditation was a big part, and that's something that I learned to do, and I'm grateful for. It's helped me a lot. But yeah, it's hard. You have to be on top of yourself for it.
Who is your biggest supporter right now? Your biggest fan?
I have a lot of those, and that makes me happy. I don't know. I mean, I go straight to thinking about my family.
Of course. Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, Whitney supports me in everything that I do.
Well, that's why I want to mention Whitney.
Yeah.
So Whitney is your, obviously your soulmate, just everything. And how did you meet him?
So our story is interesting. I met him in LA. I was, so it was LA Fit Expo.
Okay.
That time. I was going for a shoot. I was shooting for a cover in a spread. And he was there. We had a mutual friend in common. So the whole time, our friend's like, yeah, we're going to meet Whitney. I'm thinking Whitney's a girl.
Right.
I
can see.
I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Right.
So then there's Whitney. And then I'm like, oh, but I didn't think anything of him. It was nothing, Apparently he said he had a crush on me from the first.
Aw.
But my mind wasn't there. So like I was like oblivious to it. So that was that. We hung out at the Fit Expo. I was with a different supplement company. And then I did New York Pro, and then he was there. So we like all hung out in a group, but again, nothing. Didn't think anything. He lived in Virginia. And and I was married when I met him. So that's a reason why I also just wasn't, but I was already in that, like, I knew, but regardless. So saw him in New York Pro. And then like after that, like we kept in contact here and there. He went to show Miami. And then I ended up getting divorced and I moved to Orlando for a year. I just wanted my time and space to just be and grow and just, and that was very helpful and needed. And so when I was a month before moving back to Fort Lauderdale area, I'm at an event for a company I was with, and there he is. And I was like, and I couldn't remember the last time like Whitney even came up in my mind. And I was like, oh, hey. And he had moved down here because for BPI, because he's the VP for BPI Sports. And so we said, oh, yeah, we'll get together, this and that. Well, I moved back down, and he reaches out. He's like, hey, do you want to go to the movies? Well, I'm like, no. I always made an excuse to not go. I don't know. I just didn't. I think we trained like one time. And then it was Christmas. And I went up to Connecticut to my family's house, and he was in Virginia. Again, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw one of his posts pop up in Instagram or anything. And then I did. I saw one. It was literally nothing. It was just snow, right? It was snow. But something connected me to it. And I was like, Whitney. Haven't like heard from him or whatever. So I just texted him Merry Christmas. And like, that was it. He said I made his whole year. And like, we were inseparable.
Sweet.
So we got together. We came back. We got together. He lives in Las Olas. And me and my friend were in that area for New Year's. So he came by, and then after that it was literally like just we were inseparable. So it was crazy because I'm like, dude, like, do you remember when we were in New York and we were all just walking down the street like we have a freaking kid together? Like,
isn't
what
that
in the
amazing
world?
how things just align
gosh.
at the right time? You made his Christmas. Oh, that's really sweet. So when did you guys tie the knot?
We haven't actually.
Oh, you haven't.
So
Okay.
yeah, we.
Sorry, Whitney.
No. Oh, no, it's fine. I think, he's been married before. He had gotten divorced before I met him. I was like in that process. I don't know. I feel like, and we're engaged. We've been engaged, but we're both like, we can go get married tomorrow, whatever. But it
doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah,
Right.
no, not for us. And I hear people like, I don't care. I know some people think it's wrong and, well, you should really get married. You have a kid and all stuff. And I'm like, I don't. And exactly. That's why, like, we both have been there. I've never really been the type to be like, oh, I want this wedding. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I just have never really, I don't know, cared too much.
No, it doesn't matter.
We're going to go to the courthouse and like, I'm fine.
You got the best guy in your life. You've got a beautiful kid, great family. I mean, what's more? You don't need more than that, right? You don't need a piece of paper saying that you're married.
Yeah.
I
And
agree
if people
with
want to do it, hey, whatever,
That's
but
them.
like,
Right.
yeah. Like, I'm
So,
happy.
Powerhouse, you got to tell me, do you play any instruments?
I used to, not now.
Do you like movies?
I'm not a big TV
Not a big
person.
movie. So you're more of an outdoors person. Shooting guns. Favorite gun?
Honestly, I'm gonna just go to my plain old Glock because it's just what I know.
Tiffany
but my
and
favorite gun. Let me see. What would be my favorite? I don't know.
Did you see they had a Tiffany and Company Glock?
Oh,
Did
the
you ever see
color,
that?
the color
colors?
one. Yeah, those are cute.
cute.
I don't know.
If you had to give advice to females to protect themselves, what would you recommend they get?
Like gun wise?
Yeah, gun-wise or like a taser or just...
Oh, I think you should carry. I feel very strongly about that. But I think it's also very important for women to learn the weapon, learn the safety, and be comfortable with it. Because it's going to do you no good. It could actually be a risk if you're not comfortable with it and you don't know how to shoot. So that's very important. But definitely, I think it's very important for women to carry.
Good. Who's your coach, by the way?
James from Team Atlas.
Okay, Team Atlas was very good. He's got a great reputation.
Yes.
Does amazing work. What can we expect from you at your next show? Now, I know you're prepping, you said.
Yes. I am. So a better package than the last. I think my waist is going to be smaller. I've been working on that. And I hope, same, fuller, a little bit fuller up top. So yeah.
Blue suit?
Yes, I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to say, I love the blue too.
That is so gorgeous.
I loved it. CJ did an awesome job.
CJ just gave me a blue suit.
Did she?
Yes. She does
when are you
amazing
competing?
work.
You're competing, right?
Oh, man.
Or is it a secret? Is it a secret?
No, it's supposed to be a few weeks.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yay.
Yay. The diet's killing me, girl. It's killing
Really?
me. And we're going to see you at the Olympia, obviously, without a doubt. Hopefully, I know for a fact. I'm going to put it here. Let's manifest it that you be called the next Miss Bikini Olympia.
Oh my gosh, I would die.
You'd be crying.
I would literally be. I would like pass out. Oh my god.
I'm excited for you, but you know what? I'm happy that you are back and you're doing what you love. You're such a powerful woman. You give us and anybody just so much encouragement and inspiration and motivation. Like, I can walk out of here and say, you know what? I can do anything I put my mind. I mean, I already know that, but if someone who doesn't believe in themselves, they listen to you talk and hear the things that you say, you really hit the heart deep. And you let them know, you remind them that you can do anything you put your mind to. So thank you for that. And thank you for making the time to come here.
Thank you.
I know you got things to do. I want to leave it with you. If you have anything to say to your fans, your family, sponsors, I'll let you have it.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody who supports me. I love all the comments, the messages. You guys are awesome. You motivate me to be better every single day. I want you guys to know that you can do the exact same thing. You can push yourself. You're powerful yourselves. I want to say thank you to Whitney, my family, for being amazing and so supportive. James, we're the best team. I freaking love you. And I'm so excited for all of our shows coming up. Thank you, BPI Sports, for always having my back and just being there, and MegaFit Meals, my fuel. So thank you to the NPC and IFBB for allowing me a space to do what I love. And everybody in my life, I just love you. I'm very grateful.
How do we find you on Instagram? You got to give us the details.
Yes, so India Paulino.
There we go. All right, guys. I wish I can talk. I can talk to her for hours, but we have to sign off. She has to get ready for her prep, Olympia prep. I'm going to put that in there. So till next time, guys, the Rockstar signing off, the sensational 3-time Arnold Classic champ, India Paulino.